Okay, I'm going to ask them again. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yes.
No, I got to go take a nap. So what? It's Tuesday, and we have a tropical storm on the verge of becoming a hurricane. And if everyone has their way, it will become a major hurricane by this weekend. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Chris Marks.
I'm Lee Barrels.
So what are you going to do with all that information I just gave you?
I'm like
Run,
Willing to listen?
Buy
I still
some
don't.
ice cream. Buy some ice cream. It'll become milk sooner or later. Just whatever. Good gracious. The smart ones out there will dig out their hurricane plan of action, or will finally sit down for a couple hours one day with the family and maybe a computer to see what you should have in place and what you need in that plan. Put one together around your needs and your circumstances is what you need to be doing. There's some models out there, some things that you need to pay attention to. And we'll be talking about them. There's a storm out there. It's called Aaron now. It's churning up. It's nothing huge right now because there are lots of negativity going on in front of it and around it. So we'll get into it a little bit as the morning goes on. And there's another update coming at 8 o'clock, the 5 o'clock update, about the same as it was. There was some overnight strengthening, but not in intensity. It just seemed to be a little bit more looking like a hurricane. Look at what's around it, what's in front of it, and coming its way, and what kind of waters is going over. And we got some negativity going there that we'll have to pay attention to. Don't run out this morning and buy 40 gallons of milk. And don't go buy a bunch of bread unless you plan to hold on to it. And maybe you could freeze it.
Make a lot of French toast.
You could do that. But one thing I would suggest you do, go look in your freezer. If you've got a lot of room in your freezer or freezers, space at the top, where you have to put other stuff in from time to time, go buy yourself some either bags of ice, because you're going to use them sooner or later, or freeze some little buckets of water and put them in bags. And just put them on top of all of your food and everything you've got in your freezer. Why? Because if you will remember back, I know some of you, it's a long time ago and you didn't pay any attention to it in the first place, but you should realize today that cold sinks, heat rises. Air is one of the worst conductors of electricity and cold or heat. It needs moisture to be very conductive, right? Mm-hmm. For either electricity or water or heat or cold. So if you've got cold, like in freezing stuff, ice on top of your freezer, as the conditions, as you lose power, then things start going downhill from there. And your freezer, that air at the top of your freezer is going to heat up first. And then it's going to the cold is going to stay down low, but that air at the top is going to get warmer and warmer and warmer until it starts to sink. And then your stuff is going to thaw out. And then you got a real mess on your hands. If you want to know how I know that, I can tell you, but it'll make you puke. So if you've got bags of ice that are frozen really hard, don't wait until the day before to go get this ice. Go buy several bags now. You can use it later if necessary. Mm-hmm. Or just freeze yourself a bunch of Ziploc bags full of water, and then it becomes ice, and then put that in there.
Those gallon bags.
Or get yourself some of those milk jugs or 2-liter bottles of soft drink bottles that you've been accumulating and don't know what to do with those bottles. Wash them out, fill them up. Don't fill them all the way to the top; they'll break when they freeze. Water expands. That's the other thing when it freezes. But anyway, fill them up about 3/4 of the way or more, and then put them in there and let them freeze. Put all of those bottles of now ice on top of everything you've got in there to fill up. Take that void out of your freezer. Hopefully that's going to become warm air. All right, that you can do now, and you can do that year round. That's just one little tip for you. And your freezer, if you don't open the blasted thing, a freezer will last you days. It will keep your stuff frozen as long as you got it full of frozen stuff.
Yeah.
It'll stay frozen. Okay. There's your tip for the day. When you're making your plans, don't forget about your pets. Don't forget about your kids. Your kids are going to need some kind of, your kids and your husbands. are going to need comfort food. You're going to need tranquilizers, but your kids and your husbands are going to need some comfort foods. So kind of when you're thinking about your plan, think about stuff that will be there. Don't let them eat it all at one time because they're going to get the munchies. They're going to get bored. And for your kids, get some board games out, not B-O-R-A-D. Get some board games. So get some kind of things that they can do without electricity. You may be without for a few days. If it's bad, you could be. And if you're at the end of a long road and you're the only house down there and you're the only one serviced by that power line coming down, you're going to be the last one fixed.
Yes,
They're going to do the hospitals. They're going to do emergency services. They're going to do neighborhoods. They're going to do places where there are pockets of population, not a single house on a farm, 300 yards from the nearest anywhere else.
Can you imagine just for a second today's children, today's
Not a clue.
teenagers?
not being able to pump up their iPad.
Yeah,
Oh,
no iPad, no
Phone.
iPhone, no nothing, and they've got now to try to entertain themselves.
Well, you can actually still go on
Learn
the
to
phone.
twiddle your thumbs.
Yeah.
Because you could be doing a lot of that if you haven't thought of something else.
Because back a few years back, the last two that actually came our way, a friend of mine has got a social media page, and we were up all night long texting, putting on social media any weather bulletins that came out. People were asking questions. We were trying to answer to the best of our knowledge. After the storm had passed, we had people private messaging us saying, look, I'm out of town. I don't know if my house is okay. We spent a couple of days going and checking people's houses, taking pictures, sending it to them so they would know, giving them reports. So even if there's no electricity, you can still get, stuff out. But,
but along that line too, remember those little phones that you got, they, if you're trying to make calls or send text messages, they go through this thing called a cellular tower. Cellular towers get tied up. They only have a limited amount of material that they can handle at any given time. On a normal day, most people are working. They're not sitting around doing nothing and getting bored out of their every little month. Let me call Aunt Bessie and see how she's doing.
We had no issue
And talking
with
for 3 hours.
posting stuff or texting.
Yeah.
We had no issue whatsoever, even with no electricity. And so
The other
were
thing
lucky.
for your cell phones, y'all, you can buy them at these fairly inexpensive places, and you don't have to buy the most expensive ones. They're batteries is what they are.
yes.
You can put them on, you can charge them up when you've got electricity, keep them around, and then you can recharge your phone because it's got a lot of capacity and a lot of capacity going into your phone with a very little capacity in the battery. It will charge up fairly fast. But you can do that, top it off. Get yourself a few of those. They're cheap.
Not only
And then
that,
just keep them charged when you've got electricity.
several years ago from Amazon, I bought a small portable unit. It's about the size of, I can't even describe it, but it's called a Jackery. And I always have that charged up, and that will keep my phone charged for over a week.
Okay, now the other
great.
that's what you use your phone, of course.
That and laptop too.
But the other thing that you can do is get the you've got a stadium seat like we've
Yes,
got.
I have those two
We've got a
big.
couple of
Mhm.
with batteries in them,
Yes.
and these batteries you charge them in advance.
Yes.
So don't wait until because they're heated seats batteries. Is why we've got them.
Yeah, and we got two.
And but if you will charge those batteries up now, you can charge up your little portable devices from
Yes.
those batteries.
Yes.
When the time comes, they're 12-volt batteries.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
Yeah.
You got a boat? Okay, you take that boat battery and charge it up.
Yep.
Bring it inside your house.
Yeah.
12 volts can be used on a lot of things. If you've got, they can power up a lot of lights too for a while. They can also, if you know how to rig it, you can go buy
Yes.
yourself a cheap inverter. You don't have to have a big one. A cheap inverter, you can get it for $30, $40. The inverter converts the 12 volts DC to 120 volt AC.
AC, right?
It ain't going to run your air conditioner.
Right.
It's not going to run anything that draws a lot of current. But if you've got little things in there, like a little charger that you want to charge your phone up and you don't have a DC charger, you can do it from your battery. Both
Yeah.
batteries generally, especially if you use the deep cycle batteries that you use for your house battery on your boat, for your house equipment on your boat, they last a long time. They provide a lot of current for a longer period of time, not like starting your motor. Your motor has to have a lot of current at the very beginning. It's like a quarter horse or a mule. Quarter horse, you get a lot of it right out of the chute. A mule, and then it wears out fairly quickly. A mule, they can pull and pull and pull that plow all day long. That's the difference in a deep cycle and a starting battery.
And there's so many things out there now. You can go buy the camp lights that are like LED lights.
Oh, that'll last you for days.
That'll last you for days. They're run by batteries. You can go those lights that you put out in your yard. You put in the dirt along your pathway. Get some of those because during the day they'll charge up, and at night they'll come on. Put them in your house. Different areas.
Long as the sun comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, pretty much even on a cloudy day they'll charge up pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, put them in a bucket, set them outside during the day. At nighttime, bring them in. They won't stay on all night long, but heck,
Usually 4 to 6 hours.
yeah, you can put one in your bathroom so you don't have to walk into a dark bath. I mean, there's so many things that you can do.
Speaking of bathrooms,
Oh,
it depends upon where you live. If you got your own pump, you got to have electricity to keep
That's
the pump
right.
going. Okay,
Yeah.
but your bathrooms, you got a hot tub, you got a swimming pool, you got all those kinds of things. You're not going to drink that water, hopefully, but you can take buckets of that water and put it into the back, that tank that you never open up behind your toilet. Take that lid off and fill it full of water like it's supposed to be, like it will do when the water is actually turned on. You can fill it up with pool water. You can fill it up with there's water out there. And if you don't have anything out there, put a bunch of buckets out, because sooner or later, after it starts raining with a hurricane, you'll have plenty of water. Okay, you can use it for that kind of stuff.
One of the other things, and we're not throwing doom and gloom out to everybody.
No, this is
everyday
knowledge.
It's thousands of miles away. It's to at least some of the models I'm looking at.
2,500 right now.
Yeah, 7 to 10 days, but. Your medications. Remember the doctors. Most doctors do not work weekends, and so if you
doctor works weekends,
so
You're lucky if they work Fridays.
but then also your drugstore,
your drugstores, and so if you need medications, make sure you have a good supply on hand.
First aid stuff, because you want to likely get a splinter here or there, whatever. You'll get a rope burn trying to start your generator. You're going to do this or do that. And there's not a lot of opportunity to go find a dock in a box when there's a hurricane. Yep. You can't get, you're not going to get there. So get yourself some over-the-counter things. But at the same time, pain medication is good for that, aspirin or whatever. But at the same time, like you say, check your prescriptions. Go look at that bottle that you get it filled automatically. When you're down to 5 or 6 or 7 pills and they should be calling me any day now. Well, 5 or 6 or 7 days from now, they might not be calling you.
Yeah, they'll refill it for you early.
Yeah.
For that instance.
They will, if you've got still 30 days of a 90-day supply left, you're probably okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to your drugstore and you shop there regularly and they know you got an ongoing prescription, they'll likely go ahead and fill it early for you.
Yeah. I'm sure they would, because, you can't anticipate what's going to happen.
Nope.
They can tell you it's going to come in as a category 4 or 5, which they've done that before. And by the time it hit land, it was like a 1.
Most of them, as they approach our landfall around here, they do decrease.
Yes.
They may be a category 5 somewhere in the east of the Bahamas or whatever, and come here. And by the time it gets here, thank goodness, they're usually diminished a lot.
Already seeing the fake stuff on social media.
What did you expect? Something
It
different?
is just ridiculous. And people who don't know better,
They buy it.
They buy it, and they're stressed and they're worried and they're freaking out. Look, go to the reputable sites, National Hurricane Center. It's part of NOAA, and follow them.
Mm-hmm.
Follow somebody that you can trust.
Okay, got a rather cryptic request for assistance yesterday in locating the mother and her two
I
sons.
saw that.
Details remain sketchy.
Yes.
The Carteret County Sheriff's Office is asking that anyone who might have information about 30-year-old Victoria Wells and her two sons, Brantley, 7, or 4-year-old Benjamin, to contact the Sheriff's Office. The three of them were last seen last Sunday, about 9 o'clock in the morning. They were in a 2005 gray Volkswagen Beetle with South Carolina tags. If you know Victoria, if you know the family, Victoria Wells and her two sons, if you got any information about them, talk to your kids about that same age, 7 and 4, especially the 6, 7-year-old. Talk to them about when did they last see them and were they talking about anything in particular or what, because they're missing. Adults can disappear if they want to, so there's nothing illegal about doing it. That's not the point. But somebody has requested assistance from the sheriff's office, and they're requesting assistance from us. So it's over in Carteret County, but no telling where they are or what's going on.
Were they not traveling from South Carolina? Was that my understanding? What I
They
read?
got South Carolina tags on their car, and they may have been going to go to South Carolina. I don't know.
Right.
I want to tell you what we've seen. I know, and it's very kind of a cryptic message that they put out, but it is there. There it is. So that's one of the things. Okay, another situation. A gunman opened fire yesterday in the parking lot of a Target store down in Texas and the capital. He killed 3 people, stole 2 cars during a getaway. 2 cars? Yeah. Police ended up shooting the man with a non-lethal taser.
He's lucky.
Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis said the killer is a man in his 30s with a mental health history. I am shocked and dismayed, surprised beyond belief. Davis said he fled the scene in one stolen car, wrecked that car, then stole another car from a dealership. Do dealerships really honestly keep the keys in all of the cars that are out there?
The ones I visit don't anymore.
I didn't think they did.
Obviously, this one did. Or it may just been that one vehicle.
Yeah.
Anyway, police confronted him in the second vehicle in South Austin, southern part of Austin. So the bodies of 2 of the victims were found in the Target parking lot. The third person transported to the hospital and died. Fourth person suffered minor injuries unrelated to the gunfire, so I don't know what that was. Trying to get away, stumbled or whatever.
Well, wasn't one of the deceased a child? That's what I heard this morning.
I don't know. There are several
Let's see if I can
stories running around.
Right.
One of them involving a kid. I do know that. So I don't know whether this is the one or not. I'm looking at right now. Additional charges filed against suspect after 12-year-old boy shot in Kinston. These are just headlines I'm reading to you.
Right.
Holy mackerel, what's going on? Greenville man charged with elder exploitation involving a family member.
Oh.
Mom of 2 killed after her car split in half during a crash. Baby dies after father punched her for crying too much. This is depressing stuff that we look at. It's too much depressing news. Got some great news.
Well, real quick, going back to the Target shooting, it says one of the victims who died at the scene was a child.
Yeah. Winterville, it's up there to Greenville.
Good.
Watermelon Festival returns for its 40th year. I need to go to Winterville because I love watermelon. Police captain accused of helping woman cover up sexual abuse of a child.
What?
A police captain.
What?
Didn't read it, don't care. It's just too much. It's not local. It's a national story. So another national story. Mother charged after 3-year-old found dead in her car. Do not leave children in cars. 3-year-old kids, no.
How do you
Kids of any age,
do that?
no. And you're going to find children die every year. I probably could Google that and find out what's the average per year left in hot cars alone. And they die. babies, pets, but there are fewer pets. More pets are left in cars, but the people take care of their pets more than they do their kids.
All the windows are down.
Yeah.
Limited except where the dog could escape. Yeah.
They'll leave windows cracked enough. They figure nobody's going to get in and get my dog. Well, they're probably right.
I would not even leave my dog in the car.
Oh,
with windows
absolutely
down.
not.
Mm-mm. No, not doing it.
I don't like leaving my dog in the car long enough to walk around and get him out the other side.
I understand.
First of all, he just bounces everywhere.
There's law enforcement somewhere close by here. I want to say Greenville. I bet
A lot happens there.
to show how hot it gets in a car. Did you see that where they put s'mores in there?
Mm-hmm. I've seen
And
different
and-
type
and-
things.
We have baked cookie dough and eaten the cookies, put it on the dash of a car on a metal tray of some sort, and we baked them on camera.
We did eggs at the post office just to prove to management that we weren't going out. It was too hot.
Yeah.
Well,
It didn't work.
it's people, you're going to be arrested for this if your kid gets hurt or dies. When the police have to get involved, because a lot of those cops are parents, and they don't put up with that kind of garbage. They will arrest you for that without a lot of investigating. Understand? And what's really tragic is sometimes the stories, and I didn't read this one, so I don't know. Maybe I should, or I get mean. She's from Pennsylvania. But a lot of them, they'll find that they've gone into a bar to go dancing over for the night and come out and their kid's dead. Or during the day, go in and have a few, knock back a few,
Yeah.
and then the kid dies.
Oh, I've read somewhere they went in and got their hair done.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Woman can't get her hair done like me in 3 minutes.
I think the last one we
yeah.
read and talked about was the woman going in the bar and slinging back some while the child was in the car.
Yep. So
I'm curious, though, just off the top of my head, as things usually happen. As a citizen, what would happen if you see a child in a car, you have no idea the car is locked. Can you bust that window open?
as a citizen, no. You can call police. They will be there momentarily. You tell them, and they will come with lights and siren. You tell them there's a kid inside a car, and they know how hot it is outside, and they will be there too.
Okay.
I would
That's
imagine,
Southern French for real fast.
which I don't think it would happen here at all. But I imagine if you called 911 and they said it's going to be a while before we can get somebody else,
No, that won't be the case.
But that won't be the case here. No,
The chief will come.
Yeah, because
The sheriff will come. Somebody's going to be
bust the
there.
windows in.
That's a life-threatening situation.
Yes.
And they'll be there as fast as they will respond to gunfire.
I wouldn't doubt
If not
911
faster.
would even tell you to go ahead and do it. So, but we think
If
fully.
911 says the nearest car, they're tied up and the nearest car is 20 minutes away, do what you need to do.
That's right.
The normal
Mhm.
911 supervisors will take over.
Mhm.
Or, you know what else they will do? They will notify those guys with the red lights on their trucks.
Oh,
Yes.
They all
yeah,
come with
yeah.
axes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Our good old, our firemen.
They
God
can
bless our
enter a
firemen.
car of any
Yes.
kind or description. They have a requirement for a lot of repairs when they get through, but it's okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I guess we better do a little bit of weather, and
Let's do the weather.
we'll get into this storm. If you guys, if you're, this week, if you've got, we're not going to get hit by a hurricane this week, but there's one just building down there way deep south
Mhm.
and way east of us right now, but it's on a general course for somewhere this side of the world. Now that could be from New Hampshire to
Right.
Mexico. Seriously,
could.
You don't know what it's going to do. They don't know what it's going to do. They got some long range predictions, but they're all over the place. There are lots of hopeful predictions out there too, but we don't know what it's going to do. Y'all don't know what it's going to do. The Hurricane Center has no clue yet. They're thinking, they're hoping that they'll be able to give you plenty of warning. That's what they're working for. They can't change the course of it, but they can give us warnings about what we should be doing. Now, take that as a warning. You need to get ready. If you are new to the area, you have no clue. If you want to call and ask and talk to us and tell us what your scenarios are, we've been through these things a bunch. Now, we're not experts. An expert is a guy that's a big drip, X and spurt. But I can tell you what our experiences are, what we do.
I can tell you some experience.
We can tell you what we do and what we've seen and what we've been through. And I'm a little older. I've been through them from Hurricane Hazel forward. Mm-hmm. That was in 1954, October 15th. Not that I'm counting the days, but it screwed up oyster season and deer season that year.
Oh,
what?
Oh,
oyster season's very important.
Yes, it is.
We talked to a gentleman about you, about the VFW.
Oh, yeah.
Having the oyster.
and
Kathy said, yeah, I can't wait to see Rayford and Chris go at it eating the oysters. Who's going to eat them?
Oh, you better move out of my way is all I've got
Okay,
to
now
say,
we got
because
3.
I can
Okay.
give you a run for your hunt. Let me tell you what, I can shuck down some oysters.
You shuck the oyster shells?
You have
Right
to.
down.
You have to actually for this event. Then I'm sorry, we're getting to the weather.
Well, that's all part of
I
it.
was just going to say
I'd
you have to shuck your own. At this
I
event.
would rather do my own.
I don't let people shuck my oysters.
No, I want to do my
I do
own.
my own. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got away from our weather.
Okay.
More typical summertime weather returns today, going forward with scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. There we go again. Offshore out to 20 nautical miles. Southerly winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet every 5 seconds. Sounds and rivers a light chop. That was not thunder you just heard.
I'm sorry.
Wednesday, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots again, seas again 2 to 3 feet at 5-second intervals again. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Thursday, southwesterly winds 10 to 15, seas 2 to 3 feet every 4 seconds. They're going to get close together. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop.
Today, expect showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies with a high near 85. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 73 and a chance of rain showers. Wednesday, showers and thunderstorms are likely, mostly cloudy with a high near 87. And Thursday, a slight chance of showers, partly sunny with a high near 89. That's the first day that I've read that had the word sun in it. Partly sunny Thursday.
Son of a gun.
If Kathy,
Son of a gun.
I'm going to ask you, you work radio a lot?
Yes.
Okay. There are two things that one thing that people in radio do, and one thing that meteorologists do, and weather guys, and also people that read weather in radio.
Mm-hmm.
There are two things that they do that are wrong, that are ridiculous. How many skies are out there?
One.
Sunny skies. Where's the other one?
Yeah. Well,
and the other one is, what is the most, the time and temperature, and would you just do your radio thing and tell us, well, the temperature right now is 72 degrees. Would you go around and tell us, give me your time and temperature radio spiel that you would do in little quick segments?
Would I do what?
The time and temperature. Remember the little time and temperature days?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're listening right here to B100 and...
yeah, good morning. It's 7:29, 68 degrees. And
at least you did not say the correct Eastern Daylight Time is... The incorrect time is all of the others.
My aunt, God rest her soul, she used to complain when she was living in upstate New York. She goes, and these weathermen on TV, what is this heavy snow? Snow is snow. Light, heavy snow is snow. We're expecting heavy snow today. We're expecting light snow today.
14 inches of snow. Aaron.
Yeah.
That's heavy rain, light rain.
Yeah.
Medium rain.
Aaron is still a tropical storm. Heading for the big leagues. Has not become significantly better organized over the past few hours, but it's going to get there. The winds near the center are about 40 knots, that's 45 miles per hour. They don't have an airplane in it yet, so they don't know exactly. Aaron continues its rapid westward motion. I mean, it's coming this here way. Zipping along, not here as in North Carolina, here as in the eastern part of the United States. It's moving this is the one of the things. The reason it's not gaining any strength right now because it's zipping at 20 plus miles per hour. It doesn't slow down long enough to build up steam. Generally speaking, it will slow forward motion, and when it starts slowing down, moving forward, you'll see it start to strengthen. So keep your eye on that. A strong ridge is situated to the north of the cyclone, resulting in a strong easterly steering current. What does that mean? There's something up there to the north of the storm, keeping it down and moving west. All right. The tropical cyclone should continue on a general westward heading for the next few days, with a gradual decrease in forward speed as this ridge weakens slightly. Later in the forecast period, that means through the end of this week, that's like the end of the weekend, the ridge is expected to weaken even more, and a more west-northwestward track is likely. Moving west now, then it will slightly begin to turn towards the northwest. When it starts to turn and how much it turns will be an indicator of where things are going to go with the storm. Aaron is heading into warmer waters. Okay. It doesn't look like there's a lot of moisture in the air, though, right now. In its path, its predicted path. And for hurricanes to gain strength, they need moisture and they need warm waters. That said, the low shear and increasing water temperatures as it reaches, warmer waters of the Atlantic and the northern Caribbean, the warmer the water and more moisture in the air, less shear, indicate Aaron will get stronger. How strong is anyone's guess? Some of the key messages that the Hurricane Center is pointing out is too early to determine what impacts, if any, Aaron may bring to the northern Leeward Islands, Bermuda, or the east coast of the United States. If, depending upon when it turns, it could impact the islands down there, Puerto Rico, and that island chain going south around the Virgin Islands and that neck of the woods. That whole thing down there, the Leeward Islands, if it goes in that direction, doesn't make a northerly course, turn to the north, it's going to hit those areas. That can be good or bad for us. Be bad for them, period, because they're all sea level or close to it. As we get to the peak of the hurricane season, which here in eastern North Carolina is the middle part of September, early to middle part of September, this is the opportune time to ensure your preparedness plans are in place. This is from the Hurricane Center. This is what we keep telling you. Mm-hmm. Sit down. If you don't have a plan, make one. It ain't difficult. Steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Just make a checklist of what you need to do. Okay?
You have storm drains along your streets, along your gutters and stuff. If it starts to come closer this way, you want to clean those out as best as you can, so the water can drain.
Because our street floods really bad, and the city came through and did a lot of work on the storm drains, but with a heavy amount of rain, the heavy rain, not the lightweight, but the heavyweight rain, it tends to flood. Yeah. So, that's a good suggestion, Chris.
Thank you. Well, I've been out there doing it because we used to live in Rigglewood. It just
yes.
Just cross.
There are drainage ditches that some of them are natural, mm-hmm. some of them have been done. They used to do a lot of drainage ditches, especially down around the coastal area. They call them mosquito control ditches. They would drain the swamp. What they were actually doing it for, was to reduce the amount of breeding ground the mosquitoes had, but also it allowed people to build there. They build up the land. Yeah. So that was one of the other reasons they would do it, so that they could get closer to the swampy area and still be okay. But those drainage ditches behind your house, you live in a little bit, you need to take a little walk back there and walk your property line. Talk with your neighbors, especially those upstream from you, and you check if you clean your ditch out. You got a bunch of those danged old beavers out there. You got those danged old branches and limbs and other debris that's washed into your stream. Trees have fallen down. Doesn't take much. One small tree falls across the stream and it starts catching stuff that comes down river that normally just keeps on flowing, and then it builds its own natural dam.
Mm-hmm.
Duh. Those things need to go before any storm comes, because when the water starts backing up like it did with Florence back in 2018, 17, whenever it was, when Florence came along, and there were lots of streams that had not been cleaned out, and the water backed up, and water came into homes that were on stilts up on high ground. I know one in particular right down here on the 30. It flooded up to the top, to the living area, living quarters.
A mess.
And it was a mess. Destroyed that property. So there are things that you can do in advance. And yeah, just because yours is cleaned out, you may want to go talk to your neighbors upstream. That means the direction where the water comes down from. And do your neighbors downstream a little bit of good too by you cleaning out your area.
Let me ask
Doesn't
you a
take long.
question. I want to ask you a question, Rafer. If there was a hurricane come in this area, and we knew for sure, and it was predicted that we would probably have a lot of flooding, would you go get one of your boats and put it in the yard?
No, why?
I mean, what would you do if this area started flooding and floodwater started rising in your house?
I would pick two of each kind of animal, one
No,
male,
stop.
one female.
I'm being
But I would
serious.
leave out the mosquitoes and the sand gnats.
Okay,
And the
Moses.
fire ants. They would not be aboard my boat. No, that you're talking about epic times here, and there's not a whole lot you're going to do. It's going to flood. But out here, I mean, this place has been here since 1957. This house.
True.
There's never been water that high here.
But there was places that flooded in Onzo County that had never flooded before. And I'm just saying, I mean, I think if it was me, I'd go get one of the smaller boats and I'd just park it right out here. Because what if there was an area down Piney Green Road and that needed help? I mean, you could jump in your boat and just go right over there.
Where we live, in a lot of places that might be feasible, but an outboard motor is probably going to get you in trouble because there's too much stuff there and lots of pavement.
No, I understand that.
But if you've got a canoe or whatever and you want to paddle around in it, that's one thing. But keep in mind one other thing: when the water comes in, the copperheads and the water moccasins and stuff, they might like water, but they will seek higher ground.
I'm getting one
That's
of
the
those
other thing
boats.
about when there's a lot of water that comes into your backyard that floods
Get
in
one of
about
those.
the little wooded area behind your house.
Right.
Don't go moving the furniture on your deck real fast without checking
Well,
underneath
I mean,
it.
that's
Because snakes will
common.
be there.
Well,
No
they're
problem.
out right now. We know that. But no, I was talking about one of those like river raft boats
Oh,
or
yeah.
something. You
Yeah.
pull it and it blows up and you jump in it. I get my dog's vest. I'm going to be prepared for anything.
Stay home.
Well, I know I stay home, but what would you do? Because this has happened to people. And I'm not specifically saying right here in Jacksonville, but what would you do, Chris, if where you live and water started rising and it started filling your house? What would you do?
Actually, talking to our neighbors across the street, over in the Roadstown area, it happened behind their house, and the people were up on their roof, and they were rescued by helicopters.
Right. And
But-
in the wind,
Yeah,
then you have your animals. I mean, could you? I just can't imagine.
There could be times in Onslow
Yes.
County that could happen. Here where I am, no.
Well, here where I'm at, I would not think
Yeah.
so either. But over, like you said, Roadstown, Raintree area, that was hit really hard. Really,
Raintree
really
people,
hard.
I would feel very afraid.
Yes.
Afraid for. Because
Well,
I saw
it's just a
others
thought. I'm not saying it would ever happen, but you just don't know.
Well,
You look at some of where these storms have gone through and look at the devastation and the flooding.
Absolutely.
53. Remember
Yeah.
53?
Yeah, White Stocking Road or White Sox Road or whatever it is up there, 53 and
Oh, yes.
I-40 area.
Yeah.
Yes.
They flood every year.
Yes,
Oh,
they
yeah.
do.
When
They
there's
do.
quarter inch of rain, Watch
Like,
out.
does that restaurant even open anymore? That one up there?
I don't think that
used to
one.
flood every. What was the name of that? It was off of 53 up there
It
in
was
that
a
area.
country style restaurant.
Yeah,
Are
That's
you
what
talking about the
talking about.
seafood place?
No, it was
Right
a
there on the
country
It's
restaurant.
country right past the National Forest Service.
If anybody in Maple Hill,
Yeah.
yeah.
Close
If
to there.
anybody's listening, they know and give us a reading. But
um,
yeah, they flooded
That's
really
the one
bad.
that flooded, and then they moved. They had a. Oh yeah, it was right there on the river.
yeah,
It had a
Mhm.
campground and a big launching.
yeah.
Hammond's,
I can't think
Whatever
of the
it was.
name
The
of
campground's
it.
still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people when they rebuilt on the stilts.
Yep.
You know.
Mhm.
That restaurant moved to near Holly Ridge, between
Oh.
Holly Ridge and Surf City. It's been sold. It's another name now. I can't remember what the new old name was either. So whatever.
Well, yeah.
It had great
what was it?
seafood because when I was going back and forth to Bergall from time to time, I would stop there.
Right. I remember going there for some good food. They had great meals. Great
Temperature in
meals.
the area, by the way, this morning, courtesy of my guys out there, the Amateur Radio Club. Members get up early and we get together before 6 o'clock generally, or somewhere in that neck of the woods on the radio. And over here at the studio this morning, it was 72 degrees. It still is 72 degrees. Overnight had 0.02 inches of rain. We didn't get much here. Randy out there in Southwest, however,
Randy.
75 degrees there this morning at 6 o'clock. He had 0.17 inches of rain overnight. Lee over there back swamp, he had 75 degrees and 0.34 inches of rain. And Dale over River Bend, just off of 258 south of 258, whatever direction that is, near Baker's Cafe area.
Yeah.
On the river, he had 75 degrees and 0.11 inches of rain overnight. Now, Joe in the Burrow, we go from
Joe
the
in the
swamps, the
Burrow.
back swamp to the Burrow. Joe had 75 degrees and a half inch of rain, 0.50 inches of rain. We had some rain overnight in some places and some rain yesterday. We had rain here, but it was very, very light. It was more,
I
I didn't
quite a
get
bit.
wet walking out in it. So
I had quite a bit yesterday.
You had 0.11 inches.
No,
Nope.
0.68.
0.6.
Yes.
You sure that was right, or that wasn't the day before too?
I'm positive.
Hmm.
And I was surprised. I got up this morning. I was like, whoa. And I know it was raining last night early in the morning because I was up most of the night. Thank you very much.
We'll talk about that later.
But for our newer listeners, and we have a whole bunch of new listeners, give us a call at 910-333-0139. And those who have been listening for many years,
Call us, and if you want to, if you want to just introduce yourselves, tell us who you are and where you come from and everything. We won't give you the third degree. You don't have to tell us everything. I may want your mother's maiden name and your last four digits of your social security number and where you do your banking, and your birthday. But you don't have to give me everything. Just that.
there's someone
There you
calling
go
in.
already. Somebody giving us a call.
Who we got?
Marty.
Uh-oh. Marty?
I know this
Marty.
person.
Marty.
Yes.
Marty.
Marty.
You're in high water? Yeah. Got your high water pants on?
Oh, yeah. Holland Shelter is what you're thinking.
Holland Shelter. That's the name of
That's
it.
Holland
it.
Shelter.
Holland Shelter.
Holland Shelter.
Holland.
Right,
That
right.
whole building is there, not there anymore.
Nope, it's gone.
Thank you.
It's
I
gone.
could not remember
Is
I,
it?
that.
I knew it was a H something or another.
Marty, are you saying Holland or Holly?
Holland.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
Holland.
It's a campground. There's a boat launching place. They used to rent boats there too at one time. Did they not, Marty?
Yes.
I thought so.
So the campground's gone or it's still there?
I think the campground's still there.
Yeah.
Right.
It was kind of, the place was kind of hanging over the water at the tail end.
Yeah, it was.
It is right here.
Yeah.
Really good, though.
When I went there to eat the last time, I just opened the window and caught my own.
Too bad. Hey, right now, too bad it's not closer to Thanksgiving because I count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 wild turkeys about 20 yards from me in the backyard.
Can't you get one and put them in your backyard until it's time?
Uh-huh. Have you ever tried to even get close to a wild turkey? It don't happen.
Well,
Put Lucy on them.
well, we got a little bit of a problem with getting one right now. It's not in season. And you know, the worst, I still don't understand North Carolina, the law. They don't have a hunting season for turkeys except in the spring. Not near Thanksgiving, nothing like that, not around Christmas. It's in the spring, in April, I believe is April. You could go get yourself a wild turkey if you want. Around Thanksgiving, you got to go to the liquor store to get your wild turkey.
Wait, that's open season all year round for that.
All right. All right, Marty, you be safe out there.
Thanks, Marty.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you.
Blessed day.
Thank
Holland
you.
Shelter. Yeah, you ask him, we'll get information.
Holland Shelter. Because I kept associating Holly Shelter 53,
Yeah.
and I knew Holly Shelter wasn't right, but thank you, Marty.
Yeah.
You know, if I had to put numbers on it, I probably would agree with less than half of what the president's plans to deal with radical issues are. Generally speaking, sometimes we got radical issues, we got problems out there, and he comes up with sometimes equally radical solutions to those problems. You got a snake.
Would you
Sounds like
stop
one.
both of us? We're hearing this. He looked at me, I looked at him. I'm like picking up my feet. I'm like, what is that?
Okay.
The snake. I'll play that song in a minute.
We're good. Shoo. Shoo. It came out of nowhere. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, the president comes up with sometimes some somewhat radical ideas to deal with those crazy people, crazy issues. Not that something needs to be done, because we do not want an entire nation looking like Chicago, right?
Right.
In our nation's capital, he's putting troops there, which are armed troops,
Go for it.
not like have been there since basically the Civil War. There's a problem. He's called out the cavalry because the crime in the nation's capital is getting worse by the day. I don't really care what some people say, and we're going to talk about her in just a second, The crime in Washington, by all reports, is getting worse. Washington is a federally controlled location. That's what it's there for. It's the nation's capital, and therefore there's a lot of federal law enforcement presence. But there is civilian control in a limited way. In other words, there's a mayor and there's a council, right? Elected by the citizens of the District of Columbia, the people who live in the District of Columbia. There are homes there, there are apartments there, there are places that people live, and they can register to vote there. Unrest, violent crimes, riots, whatever you want to call it, it can't go on forever in our nation's capital. Somebody, sometime, have got to put a stop to it. When Americans are afraid to take their kids into the heart of the country, to visit the monuments, the memorials, to tour the Smithsonian, the U.S. Treasury, and watch sheet after sheet after sheet of $20 bills coming off the printing presses, it's time to hit the reset button. I went up there as a kid. My dad was a big history buff, and he wanted to make sure we saw what was going on in our nation's capital, because at that time we were studying as we were in school and moving forward. I mean, I can tell you today how tall the Washington Monument is. I can give you a little history that he did not know when we were up there. I told him about it because I studied it in school. The Washington Monument was built in stages. They had to stop it when they were near the top because they ran out of the building material. The very top of that building, of the Washington Monument, was a different color, a different shade of white. Did you know that? How tall is the Washington Monument? 555 feet.
It was tall. Walk those stairs.
No, 555 feet. I remember that stuff, but I was there and I would never have remembered it if all I had done was study it in school. I would not have known those kinds of things. They stuck with me. I mean, I'm sitting there in Lincoln's Memorial. That is a huge statue in there. I mean, those days, that was less than 100 years earlier for me. I was there in the early 60s. That was less than 100 years before. I was watching it. I saw it. It was greatness. When I went to the U.S. Treasury and I watched those sheets of $20 bills they were printing at the time, just coming off those printing presses. They had no serial numbers on them. They sent that somewhere else to have them serial numbered. I learned that at the Treasury Department. It'll all come off there. It did not at the time with sequential numbers in them. Interesting. I went to the FBI headquarters. As you can expect, I went through the whole thing. I looked at the stuff, listened to the tour guide, and then we go down to the basement to their gun range. Hot dang, at age 10, I was in heaven. And I was the only little kid in there, which made it even more special, as it turned out. They brought out some of the guns that they used, and they fired them. They had the .38 revolver that they shot. I can remember that very well. That .45, the government issued .45 that a lot of guys carried. And then they brought out the shotgun. Then they brought out the Thompson submachine gun. I was in heaven. And then he picked up spent cases. And that's when I learned a little bit about the Thompson that I did not know before. And a lot of people probably still don't know today, that when it ejects a .45 caliber case, there's a little ding in the edge of the neck of the casing from the ejector. I don't know whether it happens with all Thompsons or not, but it did happen with that one, and it did happen with another one that I used. He gave me a handful of those cases that I kept for years and years and years and years. Those things go into the Smithsonian. There's a plane hanging overhead. I'm like, he crossed the Atlantic in this? You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
In this little airplane? Really? We had some great pioneers.
No, really did.
We had great stuff in that Smithsonian, that history. This country's not that old, but look at the history we've got gathered right here. I remember those things. How did we let the hoods, the thugs, take over our nation's capital? And I'm not talking about our Congress. We did nothing about it. We let them come in one at a time and do whatever they wanted to do. We got so freaking liberal that it's okay. You can set up camp over here. You can do this. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute freaking disgrace. Can you imagine? It's bad enough if you were brave enough to take your little children to D.C. today to try to teach them something. Better put a rope around them, a leash, so nobody steals them. That's what I would feel like. But imagine somebody coming from another country. They've heard about the great United States of America, and we want to go to Washington, of course, the nation's capital. If we go to France, where are we going to go? Paris.
Yeah.
We go to England, where are we going to go? London. We want to know about these places. Imagine going to the nation's capital of the Washington, D.C. as a little kid or as a foreigner, and all you've ever heard is the great things about the United States. Why is it so great? We get there, you got the same crap that we got back home.
Well, I think that's why the president's trying to clean it up as best he can.
And I'm in favor of it. Yeah, I'm in favor of it.
To answer your question on how did we get there, I think it's how we got the same way in most cities in the United States.
By inch.
And it all started with gangs.
Anything is a cinch.
Well, let me tell you, I watched his news conference yesterday. I agreed with it. I'm all for let's clean up D.C., our nation's capital. But I follow an independent journalist by the name of Ford Fisher. And he came out yesterday afternoon putting out that he was there at a protest in downtown Washington, D.C., by some crazy lunatics that were protesting Trump trying to clean up D.C. And there was this one lady that was spearheading the whole thing. It was probably 25 people there at the time.
I challenge you on that. I doubt seriously if she's a lady.
Well, somebody handed her the megaphone. The ICE into custody, and she's claiming that they're being fed food that's full of maggots.
Good.
They're being made to stay awake all night long. And I'm like,
Good.
Where do these people get this? Because first of all, this is America. And we're not even going to let our worst enemies sit in a prison cell or in a cage or whatever and feed them food that is full of maggots.
Nope.
Or keep them up all night long. I'm like, come on, lady. And she's out there spouting this stuff. And people were holding up signs, dump Trump, and all sorts of stuff. And I'm just like,
somebody could write a rhyme. Dump Trump.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. The lies that she was spouting, and she honestly believed them.
You know, doctors, we all go to them, and one of the things that they'll look at, if you go in there and you got a cut, I keep seeing that cut on your right forearm there, Lee, and I keep looking at it, and I think, what happened? Is that getting infected? It's reddish. And,
No, it's just from the stuff I put on it. Right?
I look and I think about things like that.
Right.
And every doctor in the world will look at things and say, "Is that how long you had that cut? It's kind of greenish looking there. We need to take care of that." Infections are deadly. Infections can be very deadly.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Depending upon how strong you are, infections can be deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Doctors will tell you that you need to make sure you take care of that problem in its early stages, because after that spreads to up your arm and through your elbow, and then they start having to whack things off as they go along to get the infection, to get it out. Right. Now she's upset. But it's they
Quit looking at it.
prevention.
Right.
A little dose of penicillin will help if necessary. Today, we're way beyond penicillin in Washington, D.C., L.A., Detroit, Chicago. Oh, Chicago needs to have amputation.
Baltimore.
And then we've got ex-Secretary of State / ex-First Lady Hillary Clinton. She got taken to the woodshed yesterday by a bunch of people on anti-social media. She started taking shots at Trump's efforts to fight crime in the Capitol. She called what he was doing unhinged. Well, good. Sometimes you got to kick the door off the hinges to get in the door. Hello, Robin, you got my back on that one, right? You got to kick the door off the hinges to get something done. So unhinged might be a good description. I am unhinged, and I'm a deplorable, and I'm proud of it. What's unhinged is the lack of efforts over the decades to recognize, then address, then attack the problem of crime when it was controllable. A little bit of crime in the beginning, you send a force in, you send a team in, you eliminate the source of the problem, and people get along a lot better. And it doesn't build. The infection goes away. Slack law enforcement leadership. I did not say slack law enforcement, because all the law enforcement in the world has leadership. All of the bad problems in law enforcement starts with the leadership. They either don't weed out bad cops, or they don't let cops go out and do their jobs. How about that? They don't make waves. They leave the bad people in charge and let them build and gain in numbers. Don't make anyone mad. A few muggings here, a few murders there. Not as bad as Chicago and New York and L.A., they claimed. Well, little darlings, it is now the out of touch as she has lived most of her life as. Hillary claimed that violent crime is at a 30-year low in Washington. Where in the world is she getting her misinformation?
I was very
30-year
impressed.
low? I mean, like from when?
I was impressed with the charts that they were showing and the different, and I don't imagine they're going to make up a chart and show it to everybody in America and be wrong.
Didn't take long for most everyone to ask where she's been hiding, what rock she's under. She may have been looking at some of the reports from the Comey days. Don't report the crimes that they didn't happen. Back in the 1970s, the mayor and town manager at Carolina Beach would not send their crime stats every year to the FBI. They decided in this little tourist town, if we don't tell anybody that we got crime here, they'll keep on coming. And they didn't send them in. They didn't send them in until the media got hold of that misinformation, and then the lid came off. I know some media people. Know them really well those days. White House Deputy Press Secretary Abigail Jackson posted on X that Hillary was not only a big-time loser, but she was also a liar.
Wow.
In her post, she included an article. Now, remember what I just said about Carolina Beach?
Mm-hmm.
She included an article, a news article about a D.C. police commander being suspended for altering crime data. Don't tell them how bad it is, and they'll keep on coming. I bet he worked at Carolina Beach in the 1970s.
One of our listeners sent in a message, and it's a good question. Where are the parents? Why, growing up in this area, we weren't out after 9 o'clock
That's right.
at night.
Well,
You couldn't.
No.
Even if you tried to sneak out of your house,
No. No.
I would say we kids were growing up where we grew up in Jacksonville. I mean, basically by 9 o'clock we were in the house, but it was not unusual for us to pitch a tent in the front yard
right?
and
That was
sleep
normal.
and then walk down to the 7-Eleven at 1 o'clock in the morning, you know.
We didn't have a 7-Eleven within range here.
Well,
Yeah.
it was yeah, I mean,
This was the fifth house in this neighborhood.
we did things like that. But, you know, back then the world was pretty cool.
Well, yeah.
Well-
and the other thing is, when I pitched a tent, or we pitched a tent, it wasn't in the front yard. We did the backyard.
Right.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Inside that
Yeah.
tent was my dog. Actually, my dog slept on the outside. My neighbor's dog, he slept on the inside. He was chicken. His name was King. My dog's name was Princess, and she took care of us. But we also had BB guns. And if you ever watch Home Alone, we were the Home Alone team before Home Alone was written or thought of.
So we're all close to about the same age. So that's a question.
I'm ancient.
Were you disciplined? Were you disciplined?
Two critters come to mind: the bear and the cat. One, does the bear do what in the woods, and the other one, does the cat have a?
Okay. I got you. So the answer, his
The
answer is
a
yes.
definitive yes.
Yes. So were you, Lee?
My mama could, in one swipe, backwards, get us all.
In the back seat of the car,
Yeah, especially.
driving and smoking at the same time, right?
I'm gonna tell you what. Going down Bell Fork Road one morning, my brother and I did not understand what the single-digit finger meant, and we were flipping everyone off. We didn't understand. We were kids, and boy, it didn't take long for her to get us both with one swipe. Oh,
That was
I'll never
what they
forget
call a
that.
double tap, right?
it was a double tap, all right.
Well, Mom raised us because Dad was overseas all the time, and back then there was a military. It's a green belt, is what was what it was, and you got it, and we were better for
That was a
it.
web belt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
My mom was just a slapper or a
Well,
spanker.
When you got five boys,
Yeah.
you need to get the message across.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got your hand get worn out. You get tired.
Yeah. But in today's, just my own opinion, and everyone can call with theirs. The parenting of today has changed so much that I want to be your friend first, and then I'll consider parenting
Stick
you.
a screen in front of you. Here, go do that.
Well, is this a good segue, a good time to talk about what I sent y'all yesterday that you lost sleep over last night?
Yeah, you go right
I
ahead.
don't know
Because, well, I
I got
waited.
sick first, and then I got mad. Or
Well, You sent it. I fell asleep. I woke up close to midnight. I said, "Oh, let me watch this." Then I could not go back to sleep, and I kept checking my doors to make sure they were locked. Thank you very much, Rayford.
Okay, you guys, I want y'all to write this name down and spell it the right way now. Gavin, Gavon, Ramsey, not like we spell it around here. Ramsay. Gavon, Ramsay. Go to Google it and you will find a YouTube video. I don't know how long that thing is. It seemed like about 4 hours, but it wasn't
I
quite
think it
that
was
long.
about
It did seem
45 minutes, I think.
It's an article, it's a story, and they do a great job. And it's not just somebody telling the story. It's got the live interviews with people by detectives, and that little female detective she was his best friend.
Yes.
And this guy, he was 17. He was sneaking out at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he would get out, meet up with another hood friend of his. They would do bad things, and then he did some of the stuff by himself. Yeah, and he finally started fessing up. Much of it, especially the really sick part of his deviant behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And you let me know when you watch this. Hopefully, every one of you will watch this and give it some serious consideration when you hear about supposedly juveniles, underage. He's 17, was 17.
Yes.
He ended up being tried as an adult, as they told him he would be. And he was sentenced to life without parole. Unfortunately, our great leaders of questionable intelligence decided that under 18, life without parole, how many times have I said this? It's going to change. And they changed it. Well, that's kind of harsh for a 17-year-old. So now, I think it was harsh too. I think he should have been executed. And he used to be able to be executed at age 16. I think we probably need to go back to that, because 16-year-olds today, they're not intelligent, but they're just as mean or meaner than the kids of yesteryear. This would be a very nice thing, a public service, to execute this guy. Now,
It definitely has some issues.
he is now eligible for parole after 25 years. In 2043, he'll be up for parole. He'll be what, 42, 3 years old?
What, did they change it or something? Because they had
14,
sentenced him to
18.
life without parole.
Yeah, I know, but then along come our legislators who
And they
said
changed
that's
it?
cruel and unusual
'Cause I
punishment.
didn't
How many
see
times have I
that.
told you about that? Every time you
Oh,
hear
yeah, I know.
about adults today being sentenced to life without parole, oh, that's even better than the death penalty, because he'll have to suffer for the rest of his life in prison. That is a lie, because some legislature, your state, our state, their state, somebody's state legislators will get together at some point in time. They will have enough people who are left-leaning loonies to say that's cruel and unusual. We're going to make life sentence like it used to be back in North Carolina days in the 60s. Life meant 20 years. Case in point, Jacksonville, 1967. 67. 16-year-old
Yeah, he could be eligible for parole after serving 25 years.
kidnaps and rapes
Yeah.
and then murders an 18-year-old who was getting ready to graduate that year.
Mhm.
She was in my class the year before in
Right.
French too, or maybe 2 years earlier. He kidnaps her. She gave him a ride home, but he kidnapped her and forced her to go to an area where he raped her, left her for dead, took her car, got caught in South Carolina. They thought he was dead. They were afraid he was dead. Time that Friday afternoon. Then they found him in South Carolina trying to sell the spare tire to buy gasoline from her car so he could continue driving. He had no money.
Mm.
They called the sheriff there in Georgia. And they said, y'all got him. You need this dude? Yep. Is he all right? Yeah, he's all right. Hold him. We'll come get him. He was sentenced to, he pleaded guilty, sentenced to 2 life terms to be served concurrently. That means at the same time. Bad mistake. Political dealings. Life sentence at that time. After you've served 20 years, it's deemed that you've served your life sentence. As long as you've been a good boy or good man or whatever, you'll get paroled. And he was paroled at age 37. He was 17 when he was tried. At age 37, he was paroled from prison after serving 2 life sentences. Meanwhile, a guy that came to work for me wanted a job when I was in Wilmington, big burly guy, retired from the Navy. His daddy signed him up, said you can go in because he wanted to go in when he was 17. He went, so he served 20 years and he got out of prison. He got out of the Navy when he was 37 years old. He was in Beirut when the thing went boom, boom. He was on ship and he went on shore as a combat photographer. He went in to photograph everything. But he had retired at age 37. Now this guy gets out of prison after serving 2 life sentences at age 37. Life without parole, folks. You will come to find out one day in your lifetime that that's going to be considered cruel and unusual punishment, and they will reduce it to sometimes time served. Wait and see.
Well, if that happens, I hope during his time spent in prison, which I hope is going to be a very long time,
I hope it's a very short period of time.
He gets some mental help because
I don't want that. It's not going to do any good. This guy is so far gone.
But if they're
Did you listen to his interviews?
Oh yeah, I know he's well, my opinion about him, and then my opinion about probably the one person closest to him, his mother.
Not anymore.
I didn't quite like her attitude, and
she knew what was coming.
She knew
she didn't know how bad it was, but she knew what was coming.
Oh, but she had no emotion over it, which is like, okay, lock him up, throw away the key. At least I won't have to worry about him. That's the impression I got from watching her. She did not say that, but that's the impression I got. She was like, yeah, okay. The father was devastated.
I think the daddy could have taken him out.
Yes.
And if he could have gone back a few years, he would have taken him out.
Yes. I think so too. It's a horrendous, but yet so sad. It's a horrible story. So you want to ask what went wrong in his early years? Don't know. What he's had 2 parents. Well, this is a forensic psychologist who testified during sentencing, diagnosed the man Ramsey with conduct disorder, alcohol and cannabis abuse disorder, and ADHD. No, it was more than that. What is a conduct disorder? He doesn't know right from wrong in his mind. He does not care about, he knows right from wrong. He does not care about right and wrong. What I'm saying is fine with him. He's more psychotic than, I don't know about this forensic psychologist.
What'd you say about alcohol and cannabis?
Oh, he was really
he partied.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he said when he smoked marijuana, it made him feel better. When he wasn't smoking or drinking alcohol, he was out of control in his mind. But smoking pot relaxed him and brought him back down to a rational way of thinking.
Then I would give him a cigarettes.
I'd
give him a joint every hour.
Yeah.
For the rest of his life. Make him eat it.
The day that he does leave this world, whether natural or otherwise, that's one brain they need to examine because there's something off in that.
I would do that now. He doesn't need it. Put it on a desk somewhere in a jar and study it. Just let him
I know.
vegetate over there in the corner somewhere until he's gone.
I thought the court case that I'm following right now was bad, but then when I watched that last night, Rayford, I almost got sick to my
It made me
stomach.
physically ill yesterday when I was watching it. And then I got really, really mad. This could have been prevented.
Yes, it could have been prevented, and him blaming it on the victim
victims twice.
made me so
He did
mad.
that twice during those
Made me
interviews.
so
If she
mad.
had not left her door unlocked, I
She
would
had
have
not
gone
left her.
in.
That's right. If I had gone up and it had been locked, I would have just moved on to
That
something
man
else.
deserved what he got when I broke into his car. I didn't have to break in. The door was unlocked.
Y'all just watch the YouTube
You
because
need
you're
to
going to
take
be
a
like,
look at that. Go ahead and Google the name Gordon
Gavon,
Gavin.
Gavon,
Gavin.
Gavon.
Gavin.
I put it on
Gavon.
our feed.
Good. And
Yes.
Ramsey, Ramsay. And go down, scroll down. There's a lot about him. Don't even look at that yet. You can look at that after you watch this whole series, this whole 45 minutes or so piece.
Yeah, I looked it
Call
up
us
just enough to
tomorrow.
know about a few of the details before I actually went into the YouTube, so I would
I'm glad I
understand
didn't.
what I was
because
watching.
I didn't Google it or anything else. It just popped up on my TV as one of those things you might be interested in. AI knows me, apparently.
I think it's Stranger Stories is the name of the channel on YouTube. Let me look.
Whatever it is.
Well, I'm gonna do a segue here
Okay.
real
Yep,
quick.
Stranger
because I
Stories.
know you're gonna get ready to do the weather, so something for our listeners to think about. Speaking of cannabis, speaking of Washington, speaking about our president,
God.
Wow.
they all merge
Wow.
together in that
Yeah.
he is considering reclassifying marijuana as a less evasive drug.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
He needs
I
to,
said it
he needs to get a grip.
to what our listeners think about that, because interesting enough, I didn't know that I know people are farming marijuana to prepare for the future
It's
here
illegal.
in North Carolina. Yeah, it's illegal, but there are people that are farming it because they see in the future it's going to be legalized. But the president now is thinking about it. He goes, a couple of weeks I may have a decision. Anyway, just what our listeners think.
I don't know that a sitting president
Mhm.
can make something legal that's already illegal. I don't think if he can, that's an overreach, because I mean, what's next? Is he going to make if you can prove yours was just not acting right, you can beat her. Can he do that? What's the difference? You tell me what's the difference is. If he can change a law willy-nilly, he could change any law willy-nilly. No one man. He is not a king. If he thinks he's a king or a dictator, then he and I probably need to have a little chat.
Yeah. Can he reclassify some, or can
That's
Kennedy
changing the law.
reclassify
That's changing the
or
law.
reclassify the where it falls into?
How about domestic abuse? How about beating a woman, assault on a female? I can classify that as control. We just call it controlling.
Mm.
Well, I can reclassify. What do you want to do? Reclassify driving as traveling? That's been tried.
Yeah.
How's that working out for him?
It was interesting, and I'm sorry, but there's actually stocks. Did you know there's cannabis stocks on the stock market?
Yes.
And they rose 42%.
Nothing like
Really?
that makes it legal or safe.
Maybe
No.
I need to.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, because there's pennies on they sell them for the stock is
Right.
sold at pennies because it's illegal.
Summertime weather is coming back with us. In other words, hot
Weather.
with scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. Offshore, marine forecast out to 20 nautical miles, calling for winds out of the south today, 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet every 5 seconds. Sounds and rivers a light chop tomorrow. Southwesterly winds continuing 10 to 15, kicking up a little bit, 2 to 3 footers. 5 second intervals. Sounds and rivers of moderate chops Thursday. Southwesterly winds again, 10 to 15. Seas 2 to 3 every 4 seconds. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop. For southwesterly winds, they're going to have some swells there. The closer together they get, the more choppy or choppier it becomes. If they're 10, 15 seconds apart, like we've seen earlier in the week, those are gentle rollers, 2 to 3 footers, 2 to 3 footers inside, like in the intercoastal waterway or something. They're not big waves, but when they're real close together, you bap.
Amen on that.
Your turn.
Today, listen closely.
That was an official weather.
Showers and thunderstorms are likely with a sky that will be mostly cloudy and a high near 85.
She learns.
Well, this is what your National Weather Service had done. Anyway,
They're not right.
tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 73 and a chance of rain showers. Wednesday, showers and are likely, mostly cloudy with a high near 87. Thursday, a slight chance of showers, partly sunny with a high near 89. All right.
And
Questions?
I'm going to pull up the National Hurricane Center again. Their 8 o'clock advisory. See if they got one out here. They should have a new one. They do them every 3 hours when we got our named storm, and we have a named storm. If you're pulling up the weather, you'll notice one of those 2 X's from yesterday is gone. It's been replaced by another one, but the one down on the Gulf Coast looks like it's just going to go ashore as a rainstorm, and the one that's up there towards the northeast, it's going to go away. It's going to go away like the others have. Aaron out there is a different story. It's out in the way out there. When you look at the big picture here, it's probably 2,500 miles from, if you drew a line from here, North Carolina to there, is 2,500 miles or so. It's off the coast of Africa, but it's now west of the Cape Verde Islands. So it's closing in, but not real fast to this. It has to go a long way. And right now it's moving forward at 22 miles an hour, which is kind of fast. The good thing about it is it's not picking up any strength while it's doing that. Still has 45 mile per hour sustained winds. And it's on where is this still going? Yeah, still moving westward. It's on a west course. That means it's coming straight across from west all the way this way straight across. If it continued on a westerly course, it would I would hit the Virgin Islands, Hispaniola, and then Cuba, Puerto Rico, that area. That's the direction they would go. But storms like this don't just stay on a straight course. Almost never. Aaron is potentially going to be a major storm by the end of the weekend. Major storms are 115 mile per hour sustained winds or greater. And again, as the Hurricane Center and others point out, it's not just the wind that you need to worry about. Hurricane Florence in 2018 was a serious storm, but it did not have that much wind in reality. Okay, it had Category 1 winds, if I recall, when it hit land, but it had 31 inches of rain.
That's
31 inches when the storm stays or slows down and just hangs around you, the longer a storm is staying in one area, the more rain that falls, because it's going to be raining the whole time the storm has been formed up. It's just how long it stays where you are as to how much rain you get. It's not harder rain, as they say. It's just stays there, and therefore your rain gauge fills up faster and faster and faster.
That hard rain hurts.
So 31 inches of rain was more than any area should have to deal with. Now, a typical storm, we always said a typical hurricane and moving at normal rates of speed, an area along the coast, it's there long enough to leave behind about 10 to 12 inches of rain. 3 times that much, a different story. Not good. Not good. So that's one of the other things. What happens then is flooding. Your area may not be prone to flooding, but it will be. When your ground gets saturated, that means it's full of water, can't hold anymore. The rest of the water stays on top of the ground till that below it starts sinking. That's what happens. Flash flooding, roads wash out right down here, just down the street from here. and one or two cars went in it, even though they had roadblocks set up. When you see firefighters standing out there or cones or whatever around rushing water, don't go there. Don't move those cones and try to drive across unless you've got a boat or a submarine, because you're going to be gone. You're going to be flood. The least that will happen is you'll flood out and your vehicle's dead. That's one of the bad things. Now, if you keep on driving, don't do it. Just don't do it.
What do people not understand about don't drown, turn around?
There are more people who drown because of that than are killed by the winds and a hurricane. Did you know that?
I believe
People just get out.
Yeah.
Now, this flooding happens not at that immediate time either. After 3 days later, all that rain upriver towards Duplin County, it starts coming down to us from up yonder. And unfortunately, it brings things. If the hog lagoons are breached, that means they open up, then stuff comes down the river. And some of it got into the Cape Fear River in Wilmington, storm back in the early 2000s, and they had small pigs floating down in front of Wilmington on to downtown Wilmington down the Cape Fear River. I'm sorry, it's a fact of life. So be prepared for the aftermath of a storm too. It's not just during the storm, but you need to be prepared for it, because there's a good chance the stores are going to be closed after the fact. The power crews are going to be out there trying to get power restored, and you need to think about those kinds of things. How are you going to live for not just that 24, 36 hours or so that you're inside a hurricane? How about the days? And sometimes power was gone without around here for 2 weeks, as I understand.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Not good.
I guarantee the vape shops and the Circle K's will be open the day after.
They'll sell out the day before.
Yes, Chris has got to go.
Yes, I've got to get Kathy to the knee doctor.
Yeah, well,
Get her
Kathy,
fixed
Hope
up.
things go well.
Thank you.
Kathy, quit putting too much. Work your knees, but just don't overwork it. Okay.
Thank you. You both
Take
get
a
on
chill.
it. Both of you get on it.
Let Chris do it.
Oh, she's a woman on a mission. I understand it. I understand it.
Think about
Ladies
the situation after the storm. You still got to weather that. Weathering the surgery itself and getting out there and doing too much. After the storm, you still got a lot of time to heal, men. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a lot of time. Oh God, that hurts. Why did I do all that?
You know, her biggest complaint is I have to drive her around all the time.
Well,
I can understand.
call Uber.
Hey.
I can understand
if you don't like it, call Uber.
I am.
You are getting no more cookies.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
She will not send you any more cookies.
No, but I'm trying to help her out here.
You're
If
not helping.
If she doesn't like the way he drives, you can't drive. So just call Uber. And then you can give him the raspberry. See what I did?
Thank you.
Now,
Go take care.
I'll see
You need to
tomorrow morning.
You need to take her to lunch now.
Okay. I'll do that after the doctor's.
Better be a nice lunch.
after the bar's open, right?
Yeah.
Don't go drink
She
your
can have a
lunch.
mudslide. Then she'll be happy. Tom, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It'll be a
We'll
lot of
talk
fun.
about that in
So,
just a little bit too.
I
Yes.
leave my friends here.
All right, I'm
All
going
right.
to talk about something that you're going to
What? No,
find interesting too.
do not. Is it anything like this video you had us watch last night?
No, it's about an idiot.
Well, that
No,
kind of
don't
falls in line. Go ahead.
Adam Schiff.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Is he still around? I haven't heard much from him lately.
He's. I think he may be one and done on this one. Out of the frying pan into the fire. How hot is it, Shifty? A Democratic whistleblower, an insider, has revealed what has been whispered for a lot of years now, that Adam Schiff and others approved classified leaks intended to hurt Donald Trump way back when. The whistleblower is having conversations with the FBI again. Schiff, that ain't a sign of good things to come, Bubba. Documents verifying what the whistleblower told the Bureau were recently handed over to Congress by FBI Director Kash Patel. Now something's got to be done. The whistleblower worked for Democrats. He was a Democrat. And he was working on the House Intelligence Committee for more than 10 years as a Democrat. He reported Schiff's behavior first to the FBI in 2017. This is where I have a problem. The intelligence staffer called the leaking treasonous and illegal. In addition to being unethical, he told agents that he personally, he watched it firsthand at a meeting where Schiff gave what he termed the green light to leaking information about Donald Trump to the world. At the meeting,
Of course he did.
Schiff stated the group would leak classified information which was derogatory to President.
Mm-hmm.
Schiff stated the information would be used to indict President Trump. According to statements given to the FBI agents back in 2017, while Trump was president, the whistleblower said he told the people at the meeting that doing what Schiff wanted to do was illegal. At that time, some of the other people there said they did not want to get caught doing something illegal. Not that they didn't want to do something illegal, but when he brought it to their attention, they said, we don't want to get caught doing something illegal. So what happened? What happened then? Why did the FBI not take action? 2017, Trump was president. Did Comey's gang tell the president what was going on? I doubt it. Would this not be considered an act of insurrection, an attempted coup, or, as sailors put it, a mutiny? Why has it taken this long for this to come to the surface? And one final question to ponder: what kind of other crap goes on behind closed doors in the nation's capital that would have gotten people hanged under other circumstances and different times? What's going on in our legislature? What's going on in Washington? What's going on that we don't know about, that should not be going on in the first place? Are there efforts like that? Is there a coup being planned?
It's
This is disturbing.
yes, it is. I do agree.
Was
with
there
that.
information in here that was something that they could indict Donald Trump on, or was it just stuff to discredit him?
Stuff
we-
to discredit them?
We
would
don't
be
see.
my
They don't
guess.
tell me, but I'm
Yes.
suspecting that's all it was. And whatever they can make up, like Hillary Clinton's hiring the company. What was it? Fusion Doofus Brains down in the islands. Some ex-intelligence guy with MI6 or MI5,
Mm-hmm.
some discredited individual, was sent out to gather and manufacture information, of which he did, and then he gave it, and then that information was leaked. That's what this leak is about: leaking misinformation.
Well,
Libelous, illegal. Good God, I can't even. Why aren't you in cuffs, Shifty?
because let me tell you a
I took
story.
his passport away.
Let's come back to North Carolina and let me tell you a story. You know, recently Michael Watley has thrown his hat in the ring for U.S. Senate from North
Yeah.
Carolina.
You mean the guy that promised to call us when he got into the position he's in and never has?
You're never going to let that go.
No, why? He lied to us.
Anyway, he used to be the chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party. He was chairman for what, 6 years?
I don't know.
think. First 2015 through, I'd say probably for about 5 years before anyway. So he's been in charge of the Republican National Committee. He's the chairman for it. He went in there when Trump was going to run this last time and won, and he was there by Trump's side. But anyway, Senator Tom Tillis has already said he's not running again. So that seat is all up for grab. And we already had 2 Republicans say they were going to run for Don Brown and an Andy Nielsen. Andy's already backed out and said he's going to throw his support behind Michael. But story I'm getting to is that already there's been a lot of negativity coming out about Michael Whatley.
I'm sure there is.
There is a website, michaelwhatley.com, and it's obvious that it's from the other side of politics. He's a Republican. The other side is what I'm referring to. Has put out a hit piece on Michael Whatley saying that he supported abortion. He did this. He did that. You know, I mean, come on. It's just dirty politics. But now there is some TikTok videos that have been put out. And they are accusing Michael Whatley of allowing a sex offender to hold a title in the state politics. Okay, what this is about, there is a gentleman that is a district chairman here in North Carolina, has been for a while. All right, people are raising eyebrows because in the year 2000, he pled guilty to 5 sex offense charges. He was released, and he served time. He went to prison. He was released in 2006 in order to register as a sex offender for at least 10 years. Now, he was a policeman at the time. I do not know the details of the story. I don't know. I've heard that he was seeing a young woman who was under the age of 18, let's just say.
What we've heard, doesn't count. We
Yeah.
never know what.
So I don't know the exact anything other than
But
he pled guilty
He entered pleas of guilty to multiple counts.
to 5 sex offense charges. Let me see if that'll show it. But anyway, he was released from prison in 2006, and he was ordered to register as a sex offender for 10 years. Anyway, okay, he's done his time. His 10 years is up. He got involved in politics. He ran for a district chair, has been elected and reelected several times as district chair. And district chair is like, it covers several counties. You represent several counties.
Mm-hmm.
And at one time, Michael Whatley, when he was the chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party, appointed this individual to serve on different committees and boards within the Republican Party, like the platform committee. The Republican Party has a platform. And then they have what they call a plan of organization also, and to serve on these different committees. Now people are coming after Michael Whatley, and they're saying, well, if he will let a sex offender do this, do that, blah, 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 so it's dirty politics. They try to find anything they can, anything they can at all to make a mountain out of a molehill. Now, granted, he pled guilty to sex crimes. I don't know what they were. But the thing about it is, if he's done his time, does he have the right to be in politics?
He has the legal right.
Right.
If his rights have been restored, he can run, he can do whatever. If those are felony charges, I'm sure if he serves some time, I'm really surprised that I'm really kind of surprised that he took this action to deal with it. That's just opening up a whole keg of worms there that he probably doesn't want to deal with.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, the whole point of my story is that you've got this other side now that's trying to go after Whatley for anything they can, and they're making accusations that Whatley allowed a sex offender to be a part of the Republican Party and to work on different committees and stuff. Now, this is after the fact. This is after he served his time.
How did he allow it? Because did he have, as the GOP chairman of North Carolina, did he have control over everybody? I don't know.
It's you're elected as a district chair. You're elected by the people representing that come to the convention from those different
counties. So that has nothing to do with Whatley direct. He can't control that.
That's right. He can't control that.
But then he appointed him to do something else?
Yeah. Within the North Carolina Republican Party, you have that are made up from people that rules committee for the last 3 or 4 years. And I was part of that committee where we met once every so often and we discussed the rules of the party, what needed to be changed, what needed to be upgraded or whatever. I was appointed by actually through the district and it was approved by the state.
Mm-hmm.
So you get on different committees for the state if you're interested in going that far. And the chairman of the Republican Party, he appoints different people for different things. He appointed this man to serve on these 2 different committees. And so now the other side is going after Watley, saying that he should have never allowed this man to even be a part of the party.
How can he stop it?
Well, that's exactly right. But when we see what's going on in Washington, D.C., believe me, it goes on locally too in the state. I mean, we see it everywhere. When you've got somebody that's running for an office, especially this U.S. Senate office, it's going to be an ugly race.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to probably be the most expensive race in the United States during this term. And it's going to get
not
very
going out
ugly.
of Wallace Pocket. What is this guy's last name?
I write it down for you.
It's public record.
I know, but I know the guy personally.
So what?
Well, I just really, there you go. You can look him up. I think he's the 3rd or junior or the 3rd, whatever. But people are also saying that he was voting also when he should have been, not able to vote, not legally. But
How old? Well, he's not 84. So
no, he was, let me see, he was 28 at the time that happened in 2000. So
he's 54.
yeah, somewhere along there.
He's a junior.
Yes.
Middle name is Lee.
Is it?
So there's a connection.
Yeah, I mean, I've known him and his wife for quite a while, and I had heard stories. I didn't know. I've never sat down and discussed it with him. They were good to me. I got along great with them. He made a decision that changed his life. He was faced with 5 charges of taking indecent liberties with a minor, and he chose to plead guilty rather than face trial.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I do not know the specifics of it. I have heard little bits and pieces. It's gossip. I don't know. But he maintained that he was innocent of the sex crimes, but he said he had no good options when faced with a known 6 years in prison or an unknown of many, many more. So, don't know. He's no longer on the state sex offender registry list. He's been off of it for quite a while. Is it wrong to give him the opportunity to go into politics and to
if it's wrong, it's wrong, but is it illegal?
It's not illegal for him to do that.
And I still don't know what Watley's got to do with it. He ran on his own. The local people selected him to do whatever, right?
They showed a picture of Watley and him shaking hands.
Yeah, okay. Watley,
at a convention.
I'm sure Watley is shaking a lot of hands. And
he shook my hand. I mean, God,
well,
that ain't getting in trouble. There you go. But I know they threw such a fit, some of the people in the party, because back a couple years ago, let me see when it does it say some of this. He was a delegate. He was an alternate delegate to go to the U.S., the big Republican National Convention. And so many people threw such a fit that he ended up resigning from the nomination because they rebuilt his criminal history and they put it in a local newspaper. And he said he did not want to become a weapon for political opponents to attack his side with on the Republican side. So he withdrew from it, but he's still a district chair. I mean, like it or not, he has the right. There's nothing illegal about what he's doing now, being a district chair. There's nothing illegal about him being appointed to a committee. But the other side is trying to make Michael Watley look bad, just the way Adam Schiff and his cronies up in D.C. were doing everything they could to discredit Trump. And I'm not saying that Trump might not be guilty of a few things,
I'm
but
not either.
you know, my gosh, that man couldn't even walk out the front door of an establishment onto the sidewalk without somebody accusing him of jaywalking. I mean, it was getting ridiculous. But what you see right now, especially in North Carolina, it's going to magnify.
Mhm.
It's going to magnify big time. So did you coming up with any of the charges?
I'd say the charges. I'm just trying to look for details.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know. I'm not going to say what happened. I don't know. I've never seen it in writing and confirmed. I just know what I've heard. But
Mhm.
and it
didn't
was
go to
not my
Yeah, it
business.
didn't go to trial, so
No,
well,
he
it went
pled.
to trial, but it didn't go to
Right.
bringing witnesses in or anything else. So, I'm not sure what the circumstances were. Don't know what the age was. He was like 40 something at the time.
He was 28 at the time.
28 at the
Yes.
time. 40 something when he was tried, I think.
He was 28 when he was tried.
Was he?
Yes. And that's when he went ahead and pled guilty because he didn't want it to go to court.
Well, he claims that it was whether he would get a known 6 years in prison.
Yes, rather
or
than take the
who
unknown.
knows what he would get otherwise if he was found guilty.
In other words, a deal was made.
Yeah.
Right.
And knowing people know that they're guilty under conditions like that, and that's the reason they plead. They'll take a known sentence, and the chances of getting your rights restored at some point in time. Who we got?
Theo.
Morning, Theo. What's up?
What's happening?
It's all about you. What's going on?
Yeah, Lee, why are you defending this guy? I don't understand it. We're trying to get people like that out of politics, right? Anybody with his character or has skeletons in their closet. We have so many decent people. Why would you pick somebody like that and then this stuff is going to come out? How can you trust this guy being your politician after he went through that? I don't understand it.
Oh, which guy are we talking about?
Harvey West.
Are we talking about him or are we talking about Michael Watley?
No, I'm talking about the guy that went, the sex offender.
Well, first of all, like I said, if you'd been listening, I don't know exactly what happened. I do know that he pled guilty. He served his time. And that's all I can tell you. Going into politics, let me finish. Going into politics was after he had served his time. He claims now that he's a changed man. I don't know that personal. I do know him and his wife. But what I'm trying to say is it right to use his past history to go after somebody else? I'm not defending him. I don't know what happened. I never asked.
As soon as somebody has a blemish on his record, why would we vote for him to be in politics? How are you going to trust this man?
I don't think
he did that. Yeah, he did that then. And Rayford said some of these people go to jail, but they never change.
Yeah,
They never change.
let me.
So even though he put time in, doesn't mean he's a changed man.
Yeah, Theo, you probably picked up on me. Now I'm hang 'em high, right? You understand that. I do not know, and I'm trying to find. I'll probably find it later today. The transcripts, the warrants, or whatever, what he actually is accused of doing and what he pleaded to doing. I do not know this. Having relationships with somebody under 18, he was 28 at the time. If that's what it was, and it was a consensual situation, it was bad. It was awful. It was illegal. But you give him only
Period.
10
Period. It's over.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. But to give what somebody took into consideration what they thought was a less than serious situation by not forcing him to go to trial, not offering him a deal, and then putting him only 10 years on the sex offender registration. That to me is unusual. Normally, these people, when they're really heinous, they're on that list forever and ever and ever. High school, it's there. So I'm they only did that, and not that he didn't need to be there longer. Don't get me wrong there. But why did they do that? What was this special dealing that they did the back rooms? So I'm questioning that. Now, legally speaking, his rights are restored. He can run for office. He can do whatever, which he could do. Should the people vote for him, that's up to you and whoever else is going to be registered to vote in that particular election. That's up to us. We decide who go vote for or not. Now, should he be appointed to a position? He ran for that position in his Republican capacity, right, Lee? He ran for to be part of the Republican Party hierarchy. That's something that the other Republicans. So he ran, and somebody had to elect him. I don't know. They had to vote for him. Now, what did Whatley have to do with all of this? I don't know. I don't know that there's anything there that has anything to do with Whatley. I mean, my God, I've socialized. Well, not socialized. I've been present when there have been some really bad people that I've known. Let me just take John Jenrette, who was a congressman from South Carolina. My God, I socialize with him, but I was there, and I could have had my picture taken with him.
It is not Whatley's job to do a resume on everybody that is an officer within the Republican Party to see if they're of good moral character or not. It's nobody's job.
But look, Lee, if he's recommending them, he should have a little record about it, because there you are.
No.
The scandals are coming out already, and they're not even fully.
This was from 20.
Already they're talking about he's okay and a sex offender. So you see the mess that you get into. For what reason? There's so many people that are worth putting into office that don't have these problems. When you pick people that have problems, this stuff is going to come out.
Does it make a difference?
Everybody, because some people go vote. Yeah, they go vote, but they don't really know their deep history. And then their history comes out, and like Rayford says, don't go and vote too early, because I just found out this guy used to be a sex offender, and now I already voted.
You're agreeing with me.
Kind of
Yay, thank you.
So, look, if they have a blemish, tell them not to run. Just
Okay,
stay home and do your own
one thing.
okay?
All right, I'm not defending him per se, because I don't really know what the charges actually were. All I'm saying is, does not a person have the right to change? He did his time. It's time to move on. What has it got to do with Michael Whatley? And if he was a Democrat, would you feel differently?
If he was a Democrat, I would tell him not to run. Okay. I don't want him embarrassing the party, his family, and everybody else, because that's going to come out, and we don't need that. We're voting for a person that's going to run office, and we're looking for somebody to be the best person. All of a sudden, they got stuff in their closet, and this comes out and throws the whole goddamn thing out the window.
Yeah. Now,
why do they have to run?
Lee,
why do you have to run? Do something else.
Lee, let me ask you a question, okay?
Yes.
You're if their party, the Republican Party, they were doing checks, as the Republican Party does, on anybody that the Democrats have got up on the platform, right? They run backgrounds, they do this, they do that. If they found that somebody close to what's a big name Democrat right now was doing the same thing, was involved with this with a known sex offender, how would you feel? Would you think it was improper to bring that out or tell anybody about it?
Well, one thing I have learned from spending a lot of time in politics is to look at both sides of the story. That's why I can't really say that I believe the party should not allow Harvey to participate, is because number one, it was 20 years ago. He served his time. You know, and I know when we talk about sex offenses, people get really, really sensitive. But you know, do I know what happened? Did he go out and molest children, or was he dating somebody and having a sexual relationship with someone that was under the age of 18, and that's what happened? See, there's so much to be said and to be discovered, and that's one thing I have learned is I try to look at everything.
Well, look, you there?
Yes.
Okay, so there. Now because you think that way, I know why you voted for Trump, a convicted felon. Okay? Now I know why you voted for him, because, well, no, he's okay, this and that. No, it doesn't work that way. We have so many decent people in this country that if you have a blemish, don't bother running. We're going to get somebody who's decent. We want decent people. You got to change about all that stuff.
It's your opinion.
Okay, it's my opinion. But look, I gave you an example last week when I told you Rick Scott was brought up on a scandal with Medicaid, and then the people, all right, voted him to be a senator. Okay?
What were the exact charges on that, and what was the outcome?
Why would you go and vote for somebody who has been brought up on charges on a scandal, or he's a sex offender? Why would we put these kind of people in office? For what reason? I don't understand it.
Well, he's not actually
I don't get
in
it,
office.
but you think it's okay? What do you want to give him a second chance?
I don't know. Do you believe in forgiving?
Now, when it comes to running for an office, I'll forgive him. Yeah, I'll be his friend. If he time, I'll be his friend. But when he's running for office and representing all kinds of people, no, I can't trust that person. But being his friend is not going to hurt me.
Well,
look,
you can't have it both ways,
and I think we need more decent people to run, and they're honest and have character and don't have, like we said before, don't have any skeletons in their closet. As soon as we find out that that person has done something in the past, it's brought up, and the whole thing is a waste. I mean, they're running. You know, I wouldn't allow a Democrat to do that. I'll be honest with you. If I voted for a Democrat, found out that he was a sex, even though he put his time in, I would be very disappointed. I said, why did I do that? I would be very disappointed because they embarrassed themselves, they embarrassed their family, they embarrassed the party, and what do you get out of it? What do you get out of it?
Do you think Bill Clinton embarrassed the party when he had relationship with Monica in the White House? Do you think?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. Yes, I don't agree with that at all. Anything that they do, any Democrat that doesn't do anything, the same way the guy who ran, what was his name, Cunningham, the guy who ran against Tillis last time. Well, I forgot his name. The Democrat that ran against Tillis, and he was. Till they found out he was having an affair. And I said, get him out of here. Okay? I would have voted for him. All right? No, you got to be an honest person when you represent for a lousy 4 years. You can keep your pants on. You can be honest.
Yeah.
You don't have to be crooked and treat the people the right way. That's what we voted for these people.
So you're saying that anyone running for office should be of good moral character, right?
Yes.
All right, I understand that.
It's as simple as that. And if we do that with everybody, then these people will know not to run because they will not be voted in. And we would be much happier. And the kids see this. This is what we're talking about with the kids. When they see that you got a sex offender or a criminal running and he's in office, you say, Mom, Dad, what are you doing over here? Why is that person there? It don't make sense. Okay? All right.
Okay.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Rayford, do you know of anybody off the top of your head that you can say, I know for a fact does not have a skeleton in their closet?
I might have skeletons in the backyard buried. I don't know. There's There's not a saint
among us. Nope.
that I know. I don't know anybody. Everybody's done things that either they shouldn't have done or they wish they had not done, or there are degrees of all of that, of course.
That's right. Yes.
Theo's run down the highway in excess of the posted speed. So has everybody else that I've ever met, unless they didn't drive a vehicle.
Right.
I
I understand.
There are also degrees. That's what we have. We have degrees of criminal offenses. What is the criminal offense itself? Is this a repeat offender? It looks on the surface, this guy's 5 charges, pleaded guilty to all 5 counts.
Mm-hmm.
How bad does that make him? I don't know. I can't find anything on the investigation. All I find out is the political stuff here.
Right, it's all political.
Anywhere about him. Just find the court case. I think it was up east or part of the state.
Pamlico, maybe.
I don't know exactly where it was.
I don't know where it was.
But I'm just curious now because I didn't know who he was. I never heard who he was. Never, don't know him.
I believe that people can change. I believe that they
can change, but does that ever make us want to? Well, it's okay. We may want to socialize with them, but does that make us forgive them completely and totally when it comes to representing us? The thing is, he's not running for public office. That's what I think what Theo might be forgetting. He's not running for office.
Right.
He was representing administratively parts of the North Carolina Republican Party, right?
Exactly.
So, okay, now some guy that now is running for public office knew him, either supported him, said okay, sanctioned him, signed off on it. I guess I don't know how that hierarchy works.
Mm-hmm.
What Watley is the GOP chairman, what kind of power he had, what he did. He knew everybody.
It's just like me when I was a county chairman and I appointed, Jane, I need you to head this committee, the fundraising for the social that we're going to have in October. Mm-hmm. Things like that.
Mm-hmm. I probably working. I hired a guy against the better wishes of the upper bosses, but they said, I'll leave it up to you.
Mm-hmm.
He had a little problem as a youngster, not a juvenile, but a young man, had a little problem in the drug community, not selling, not dealing, nothing like that. But he got popped, and it was a felony.
Right.
He was convicted, and I didn't serve any time. Typical, they don't. First time offenses anyway. But he had a record. There it is. Am I going to hire him? Well, I looked at his credentials. I looked at everything else about him. And then it came to interview time. Sit down, the 2 of us. Nobody else had any control. They could order me not to, but they were all smarter than to do that, because that would have made me mad. Because my judgment, I will guarantee you, my judgment was a whole lot better than theirs.
Right.
I've been closer to the situations than them, and I told them, I did explain the facts of life to them. I said that all it takes is one time for me to smell or feel, and I get feelings. And when I get feelings that, they're 99.99% of the time right.
Yeah.
So
I understand that.
If we can work, we're going to work on. First of all, I typically hire you for 30 to 60 days. I'm going to hire you for 90 days probation.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to fire you and rehire you or not at the end of 90 days. That's the way it's going to go.
Well,
and that's the way it is. And the guy's still working there.
You brought up the Schiff story about, the allegations and all that.
Shifty is just, he's been shifty forever.
And, them trying to discredit Trump. That's what I see is going on with Michael Watley right now. You've got the Democratic Party, the other party that is going after him and trying to discredit him because he knows.
The only difference is this guy Yeah, because of his association. Birds
Right.
of a feather flock together. Yeah.
I'm sick
Give
of
me a
that.
break.
Mhm.
It's time for us to get real out there. There ain't no saints. There's nobody perfect. Not walking this earth.
Right.
And we got 400. You give me a little while, if I was to be the idiot to want to do it, of the 535 elected officials we have in the
Right.
House and the Senate, plus a president and a vice president.
Mhm.
No, the vice president's not elected. He's just along for the ride. But of all of those individuals who were elected, if I had enough time and the resources, what do you think I could dig up on them?
Exactly.
Everything.
And my whole point is, does not a person have the right to become a better person?
Absolutely.
Should that stop them
Well,
because something they did in the
if
past?
they did not have this right, here's where I'm going with that. Now, there are certain individuals, murderers and that kind of stuff.
You know, like
There's
that's 19-year-old, 17-year-old,
and
19-year-old.
somebody who-
Yeah.
Now, the difference in that and somebody who is committed in a crime and somebody gets killed,
Mm-hmm.
it's a different story as far as long-term forgiveness or can they be rehabilitated. This guy we're talking about that has a long history.
Right.
But Harvey West, he had a situation that popped up and he got involved with it. I don't know what it was,
Don't know
but it was an
either.
underage person. They call it a child.
That's right.
If it's a
Under
if it's
18.
if it's a 12 or 13-year-old child, that's a completely different story. If it's 17 going on 18,
Mhm.
I mean, my
I agree.
God.
I agree.
we got people, men and women, who fought in this country at age 16 for
That's
this
right.
country.
That's right.
It used to be legal to get married in South Carolina when you were 14. 14.
Right.
You could get your driver's license when you were 14 at one time in South Carolina, not that many years ago.
Right.
Well, maybe it is to y'all, but not that many years ago to me. So people were it was different. This one was in 2000-ish and prior to.
Right.
I don't know how long back it was. He was 28 when he was tried,
That's right.
when he was arrested and tried. I don't know when the offenses occurred.
Right.
How old was he at the time the offenses occurred? And how
Mhm.
old was I'm assuming a female,
Right.
because it did not mention otherwise.
Right.
How old, what was the age difference at that time?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't
I
know.
have heard, but I cannot say
I can't
that
find
what
anything.
I've heard is real.
I don't care what you
Don't know.
heard. I want to know
That's
what
right.
the facts are. Give me a source of the facts. I've looked, and the computers are not giving me anything
Exactly.
because they're overloaded with the
Garbage.
with the political stuff about it.
But my whole point was that, you know, with what Schiff and his cronies have done to Trump, it's that's the way it works in politics. I mean, we got people going after Watley because of his association with someone that pled guilty back in the year 2000 to sex crimes and served his time. Now, you know, my gosh, Wiley's also an attorney. So I imagine he's had a lot of dealings with bad people and crazy people. Does that make him not eligible to run for an office? I mean, I'm telling you, it's going to be a nasty race.
Do you think every divorced couple I can't find dirt on?
Oh my gosh. It's just like I said a couple of weeks ago when we did private investigations in domestic.
Lord, good God help us.
Oh my God. Most of the time it was the woman that was crazy, not the husband. So
Well, we
You know.
we kind of figured
I
that.
said
to begin
most of
with.
the time. I didn't say all the
We
time.
kind of figured that was going to be the case anyway. Most gentlemen will think that, right? Theo, you probably figured the same thing, don't you?
I do believe that a person has a right to make their life to be a better person, have the right to become a better person. I do not know the particulars on this.
There are certain things, stigmas that will last and should because
Yes.
the heinous
Yes.
activity of the crime, that should never go away. You
Right.
should never be trusted whatsoever. And when I get
Dr. Schrader.
Theo, if you're still listening, when I get to the full story here, like transcripts of the warrants and whatever. So if I can find the warrant that says been willfully, feloniously, and malicious and whatever
Right.
with malice aforethought, do
Right.
this, and this, and this. Okay, yeah, it's a crime. Number one, what are the mitigating circumstances?
Right.
To only be given 18 months per offense or less.
Mm-hmm.
It was less than 18 months per
No,
offense.
he served 6 years.
6 years for
Yes.
5 offenses.
Yes, he
So-
pled no contest.
So for 6 offenses, he served 6 years, 5 offenses. So that was a little over a year per offense.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a lot of time for a sex offense. So I've got to look at the context of how this was set up.
I agree.
Got it?
But my whole
We gotta
point
go.
was not to bring up his story. It
Well,
was to
his
bring
story
up
has got to come out.
to bring up how they're trying to tie that into Michael Watley and make Michael Watley look like a bad person, just the way Schiff and his cronies did to Trump.
Well,
There you go.
we'll see. All right. We'll be tomorrow. We got a really cool story, cool show
Yes,
here.
we do.
You've heard the song "Hang Down Your Head," Tom Dooley.
Yes.
Well, this is not it. This is Tom Duty.
duty.
And I like the last name. Duty
Yes.
is a D-U-T-Y
Mm-hmm.
because of his former occupation.
He was a sworn law
He was a
enforcement
police officer. He was the
with
cop. He was the
Emerald
fuzz. He was
Isle.
the heat.
right.
All right here in eastern North Carolina,
That's right.
Emerald Isle. Then he got hurt. So we're going to find out how far
Perseverance.
he's come and how he managed to overcome some of the worst obstacles you can have that we're all familiar with
Absolutely.
living in this community about
That's right.
not law enforcement so much, but our military.
Right.
Some of the obstacles, the hardships that they've overcome, and this man has overcome a bunch. So we got his story
It's a
tomorrow,
great story.
beginning at 8:00 in the morning. Of course, we got Dr. Rose at 7:30. I don't even know what I'm going to ask her tomorrow yet. I'd like to suggest that she
well,
sit
let's
down and look
ask
at
her.
that same thing that I sent you guys to look at some point in time.
Well, let's ask her on tips on how to, if a hurricane was to hit, how to help our children be less stressful during that time.
Lock them in a dark room.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Thanks, Theo, for the question. It's thought-provoking, and your observations and my observations. Well, you know me, so you know my feelings about criminals. But who ain't a criminal out here who walk among us? Is it just because they're not a criminal because they haven't been caught? Is that the only reason they're not a criminal? How about that, Theo? Or do you worry about that? I worry about that. I don't necessarily worry about all the people that I know who they are and what they're doing. I worry about the other people.
Look at George Santos. He says he's going to run again.
I don't worry about the people who have gone to see the sheriff, have taken a course in getting a gun permit to carry a gun. I don't worry about them nearly as much as I worry about all the people who can't get a gun permit who still carry guns. Those are the people that I worry about, not the people who are getting them legally.
Understand that.
You got me?
I got you.
That's what cops understand too. When they start stopping people,
right.
yeah, they know they got a gun. They got a gun permit anyway.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, they've been vetted. How about Joe Blow out here when I pull him over?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know nothing about him. And he doesn't want to give me the registration to his car, doesn't want to give me his driver's license. So I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Yeah, well, then you got something to hide.
Citizens.
And I don't trust not nary a one of them.
Nope.
For good reason, good cause, because when they start running their backgrounds, you find out why they don't got one. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day. It's not going to get real hot, but it's going to be kind of muggy. And we'll keep you up to date on the
A
thing
lot
out
of
there.
clouds in the sky.
The hurricane, on the verge of becoming a hurricane.
Yes.
Not right away, but it'll be probably towards the Sunday when
exactly.
it gets into the right atmosphere.
Yep.
You're live in local Real Talk. Kathy, good luck if you're listening, and then we will talk to you all in the morning. Have a good rest of
See
your
you in
day.
the morning.
Bye.